Sunday evening. Hope you're doing well after. Hopefully, you got a break, got a chance to rest and catch your breath. At least that's what I'm hoping you've had a chance to do. For some of us, it's been busy. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. As you're joining me, let me know you're here. Say hey, all that good stuff so I can greet you and all of that. All right, and today I kind of want to talk about. I want to talk about something that I don't know. I haven't heard. I hear about all the supplies you need, but I don't hear. I don't hear about some of these other things. So thank you for joining. Hey, Butterfly Effect. Hey, Virtuous Gardener. Hey, Severn. Hey, Angela. So, hey, Auntie. Hey, now. Oh, no, you didn't get the notification. Sometimes it lags. I don't know why, but it does. So, but thank you for joining me anyway. However you found me, Guava Rhonda. Hey, G Mama Grows. Hey, Miss Shirley Weems. So, I don't know. I just felt like mulling these thoughts over with y'all. Um, you see a lot of videos of people, getting their stuff, and you should be getting your stuff, whatever you might need. But to me, you can have all the stuff, right? That doesn't mean you're prepared and that it's gonna go well. So, so what do y'all think? What else is needed to be prepared, like for real? And I'm not just talking about end of the world. I'm not talking about that type of stuff. I'm not talking about um I'm talking about things like storms, hurricanes, power outages, stuff that can happen anytime, and it's not like uh just just being prepared for just terrible things that occur. Whatever that may be. Oh yeah, Auntia is on. She's in line with me. You need that. You gonna need some mental stuff. It's a kind of it's preparedness is a mindset. And it's not just saving up some stuff, because to me, at some point this stuff is gonna run out. What am I doing to make sure I have a continual supply of the things that I need? So that's what I wanted to chat about today. Hey, broke farmer, you need a four-wheel drive truck or a car? Well, yeah. Um, if you could get your hands on that, like, and fuel for it, yeah. Whatever you can. But I'm thinking of beyond, like beyond stuff. So like to me, being prepared, yeah, Nettie, prepared mentally, get your mind all the way right. Um, like, how do you respond to things that happen? That's a certain level of preparedness. Are you one of these people, you jump to conclusions and you panic? Hey, Cheryl Ware. Hey, hey, hey. Do you panic? Um, right. See, y'all are in the same vein. Do you just shut down? Because guess what? You have all your stuff, all your supplies, everything you need, but you're panicking. So in other words, you are giving into fear, and literally what you're doing could potentially make your situation worse. Right. Auntie, I feel you. Yeah. So are you thinking about, like, as and listen, some people I have been told that my superpower is to remain calm. Um, I think it is, because in my head, I need to think about what I'm doing, what I'm about to do next, right? And if I'm panicking, like thoughts aren't happening at the same time. So I try to like staying calm is like number one, like not getting upset about stuff that's happening right in the moment, but also not getting upset about stuff that's happening in the news. Cause that's the kind of stuff that can make you panic as well and make you be like changing up your whole everything you're doing without having all the information you need, or even some things you can't do anything about. So it's just like panicking. That's not going to help. That's not going to help. And it's weird because last night we were watching, I've never watched the whole movie. I've seen parts of the Green Lantern. Um, but I'll say what really stuck out to me, and I can't say that's the best movie in the world to go spend the rest of your evening watching. But last night we watched that, and what really stood out to me was that monster uh that thrived on fear, that basically sucked the life out of them, anyone that had fear, right? And I was just looking at that like, that's what happens. We get the life sucked out of us when we become afraid. We don't live, we don't think, we don't, we're not logical. Nothing good is occurring because we're in fear. And the guy made a good point, like, I'm afraid. Like, so how am I supposed to do this? Because he about to get me, basically, because I'm afraid. But it was like, but you need to overcome it with courage, right? And I was just like, look at this movie trying to make a message about life. But I mean, it was the movie could have had a little bit of better things, better points, but to me those messages were key. So okay, you're gonna be afraid. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't let it overtake you. Have the courage. I do so many things when I'm afraid, and I think teaching forced me to just get over that because I used to be very shy and didn't really like to talk in front of people. Why did I choose to be a teacher, right? Well, I do like helping people and I like sharing knowledge. But my first few days of teaching, I had to do them afraid because I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, um, yeah, you have to kind of overcome it. I like what Regina is saying. You have to overcome it by asking yourself, why are you afraid? Well, I usually know why I'm afraid, because I'm afraid that the thing that I'm afraid of is gonna win, and I don't want it to win. I want to win. Afraid of losing, afraid of not having what you need. And I think that's what if you aren't thoughtful when you're preparing and gathering supplies, you can become fixated on the thought that you won't have what you need. So, you end up buying a lot of things thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna live if I don't have what I need. Hey, Miss Mama Daughter Sister, so good to see you in the chat. And y'all are posting so many good thoughts. I'm sorry I'm missing them. But yeah, I like what Butterfly Effect said. You have to have faith in your skills, power of the Most High to get you through, even if your preps get swept away or you don't have everything you need. Now, let me give you this disclaimer. I am in no way saying don't prepare. I am in no way saying don't have supplies. You need medical supplies like, band-aids and alcohol and, medicines that you and your family may need. I'm not saying none of that. So don't take this anyway near that. I'm just saying you need some other stuff mentally. Uh you also want to think of, how can I make what I need happen even when this other stuff is gone? Am I willing to make some of this stuff myself? Like, am I willing to get my garden set up in a way where it can at least give me the basic things that I need to eat? Like making sure your garden isn't one-sided, and you might need to expand into having chickens or some other livestock. Somebody said rabbits are good, really fast, they grow fast, and I'm not there. Chickens to me are doing the job. Chickens give you eggs. I don't know any rabbits that lay eggs. So it's not like you can actually get a perpetual source of protein just from having a chicken without ever having to uh actually eat the chicken. So to me, chickens outrank any other livestock. Now that's just to me. So y'all, whoever have goats and cows, don't. Well, goats could give you milk, but I'm sorry. I don't like that. But chickens can give you a supply of protein. Okay, so you need to make sure you got an ongoing source of protein that doesn't even rely on outside sources. That way, if something happened with the outside sources, you don't care. You need other sources of protein, beans. But here's the thing about beans, you need timing and space for those. You need to be succession planting for those. So to me, the other thing that before I go to planting beans, I'm going to have some trees like pecans, or if you're in a place where you can grow almonds. I'm trying to think what other nut trees. I wouldn't recommend a walnut just because of what happens to the soil around walnuts, but like pecans, awesome source of protein. Plus, it's delicious, right? If you have some fruit trees and you're growing other things to go with it, you want to make sure you have a balanced, you know, I got my carbohydrates from my fruits and my broccoli and my other vegetables that I'm growing, but I also got some protein from somewhere. So I'm not stressing about, so you don't have to worry. You're always going to have what you need. These chickens' names are Mary Thing 1 and Thing 2, Miss Gray and Cutie Pie. Aw. We used to name our chickens, and they all had names like Patty, Nugget, I can't think, Salad, stuff like that. Gardening and holistic fun. I guess walnut trees secrete some type of thing into the soil around them, but you just look it up. I don't have all the full details about it, but it is basically a walnut tree wants to have this whole space for itself. It doesn't want other plants around it. So yeah, just look up what happens with I think it might even just be one walnut. It might be the black walnuts, but I can't remember. So look it up. Do some research about it. But if you got a walnut tree and it's already growing and producing, don't you cut it down. Obviously, you just don't plant in that area. Hey, y'all. Hey, Container Crops. I didn't see you come in, but I see you in the chat. Hello, everyone. I miss. Hey, Miss Joyce L. Moore. Hey there. Oh, yeah. She makes a good point. Pond fish. Pond fish. Now, that's something you could get set up. It's going to require a little bit more effort. Well, everything requires some type of effort because you got to have a place for your chickens to live, even if you just do chickens. So, but yeah, those are things you can do to, help with that. Help with not feeling like you need to panic or that you're going to give into the fear that you won't have what you need. Because if you got the right mindset, you will always have what you need. If you got skills that can help others, you can make things that help other people, they'd be willing to trade you and give you what you need, even if you hadn't collected a thing. So, yes. Hey, y'all that are just coming in. We're just talking about mind the mindset of preparedness. Like basically preparedness is a mindset. Like you can collect all the stuff, but if your mind isn't there, your stuff will get wasted. And how about sometimes you just keep buying the same thing and you just keep buying it over and over. You're not even rotating it. You're just stuck and fixated on this one. Don't get stuck and fixated. Other things, and I've talked about this before, planning. In other words, thinking ahead what you're going to need and when, how long does it take certain things to grow? How long is it going to take those chicks you just bought to start laying? All of that has to be, you got to think about those things ahead of time, because if you wait until the moment when you need it, that's not going to set you up for success. Just thinking about, in fact, I got to go I got to go outside and harvest these radishes that I planted. Cuz I'm trying to take advantage of this cool weather, and radishes do well now here. They don't do so well as it gets warmed up, and then the bugs kind of get at them too. So, um just knowing which plants produce quickly. And you might think I'm obsessed with lettuce, but lettuce is one of those things that in about 3 weeks or even sooner, depending on, how fast it's growing, those things can be edible within weeks. Radishes can be edible. But the thing is the succession planting, and that again requires that planning ahead of time, knowing when I need to get these seeds started. So, rabbits for spinning yarn. What did I miss? I'm just blabbing. I wasn't really looking at the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. So I missed what? What about some rabbits spinning yarn? Raise some rabbits for spinning yarn. Ann Wright said that. Tell me more about that. What do you mean? Like real, like cotton and turning it into yarn? What? I don't know. That might be a figure of speech that just went, I don't know. Tell me about that. I'm curious. Let's see. So what are some of the things y'all are doing to make sure, yeah, Dee had the same question, that you're not just collecting things, but you're actually taking action. Oh, the rabbits actually make the yarn. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, that's awesome, because then you have something that you can make blankets and coverings out of, keep yourself warm. Yeah. To me, any animal that, is multi-purpose, that you don't have to eat just to get the benefits from, is worth having. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, good night, Ola Joe. Are you on your way out? I'm sorry I didn't see you. Books. Rhonda, you write up, collect those books. Now, the only problem with books is space. And they're heavy. So they're not portable. But there are some books you just gonna have to collect. especially books that tell you how to make things you might need, books that tell you how to cook things you might need to cook, medicine, how to identify certain plants, skills that could potentially become lost if we don't, continue reading about them. I feel like gardening skills were about to go extinct until maybe last year or the year before, because it was just like no one I knew, at least in my immediate sphere of influence, could give you any good tips. You even go into the store, like the nurseries, and they can just give you like the basics. Like, I'm just saying, like, what do I do about X, Y, and Z? And they're like, so yeah. Um, yeah, it's all right. We all make typos from time to time. I probably would have understood what you were saying anyway, because I read a lot of stuff with typos. I was grading earlier today and my eyes just started crossing. I was just like, okay, it's time for a break. It is time for a break today. But yeah, oh, I love what Container Crop said about turning her garden into 75% perennials so they can give back with less work. Listen, listen. If you can keep something like, and some things you kind of might have to force it into being a perennial, like my ginger and my turmeric. um I've had turmeric come up before, planted in the yard, but I've learned that if I put it in a container and put it in the greenhouse, same with my ginger, I can get it to come back without having to replant it. So that is also my echinacea. I've been meaning to put this echinacea video together, but I was just like, I was just having a mental block on how to frame it so it wouldn't be boring. But I just collected so many seeds from my echinacea plants that they flowered out of this world this year. And technically I could harvest some of the roots, but I just want to leave it in there one more time and then just pick at them as needed, and then make sure I replace it as I harvest. But asparagus, now I've learned the hard way. You better plant your asparagus in the right place though, because that asparagus that was taking over my rosemary is still taking over my rosemary. And I've pulled up piece after piece after piece after piece, and it just won't quit. So that's the thing. Yes, plant perennials. Make sure you know where you want them long term. And then things like onions and garlic, you don't have to always harvest the whole plant. I do a lot of partial harvesting. Like I might just harvest the green, or I might just harvest one, break a piece off and put it back. Like I'm not just taking everything in like in one haul. Like I don't do that unless it's something like broccoli, and I don't even take my whole broccoli plant. I cut off the thing and I let it grow back, and then I cut it again. So it extends your harvest. Like I don't harvest a whole head of lettuce. I take some leaves and I let them grow back, and I keep doing it that way. So you gotta kind of, yes, get your perennials, but you can also make things. Peppers could be perennials if you can kind of help them over winter. I'm doing an experiment with my okra in the greenhouse. I don't know if it'll come back. We'll see. But yeah, am I gonna dry my echinacea? Um, I probably won't harvest enough at one time to make pills, because like I said, I want to kind of let it continue growing and coming back and growing and coming back. When you harvest those roots of them, that's it. It's not coming back. So I don't like totally devouring everything. So I probably won't have enough to make pills. I'll probably get enough to like make some tea as needed. Um, and then maybe once it increased so much where I can harvest some, make some pills, and still have some left, Maybe so. Maybe so. I'm just taking a look at some of your Sylvia. You had that asparagus in a pot. It's gonna come back. It will. Asparagus is hardy, and I don't know. Here in South Carolina, every now and then I can look on the side of the road and see asparagus just growing randomly because somebody probably planted it and it just took over. Hey, Talisha, thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was nice. I appreciate it. Um, I had no choice. Everybody else is taken, right? So I can only be me. Um, that's all I got time for. That's all I got time for. If I were just to be honest. Heavenly places. No, echinaceas. I have, in fact, I I plant my echinacea. The only thing is depending on the timing. Sometimes if I plant it like too late, the bugs attack the young leaves. That's the most issue I've had. But that doesn't even that's rare. Usually you plant your echinacea and it just grows and grows and grows. Um it doesn't seem like it has to be overly watered. It You keep it watered, of course, because the more you keep it watered and fed, the more flowers. I like it for the flowers. Like even if you don't, you know, the flowers are beautiful, and sometimes I'll take the leaves and I'll make a tea out of them. Don't put the leaves in your smoothie though. Ask me how I know. They are too fibrous and it's like strings. Don't do it. Don't do that. But make a tea, let it boil and drink the tea. Don't eat the leaf. Don't do that. So yeah. Yeah, you and just like any natural supplement, as Julie B mentioned, any natural thing, you kind of got to be careful if you take medications like turmeric. It can kind of be a blood thinner because it gets your circulation going. But these are things you've got to prepare to know ahead of time. Like if you want to know like the effects, now don't get freaked out though, because the amount that you would probably have to take to have those adverse reactions probably far more than you would be taking. So um don't let some of those adverse things freak you out, because they will. They'll have you like, I'm never eating a thing ever, ever. But yeah, checking with your doctor is a good thing. Also, doing some well-rounded research, not just a random Google search and you just end up on a random site, but like those the official like health sites, those places you can find some pretty good information. So yeah. Other things you got to prepare with besides just collecting stuff is how you treat people before anything happens. How you and your neighbor getting along? um and what I mean by that, you don't have to be all buddy buddy with your neighbors, but don't have no negative interactions. That's what I'm talking about. Avoid as many negative interactions with your neighbors, people around you, or people in general. Yeah. Oh, that's all good. Thank you, Julie. um, how do you interact with people? And all of your interactions shouldn't be negative ones. If all of them are, it might be something you need to work on. And I'm saying this in the most loving way. All of your interactions with people should not be negative. And listen, you're getting this from somebody that is an introvert. I don't always like to go socialize. I'm a homebody. I recharge by being quiet and by myself. But guess what? When I'm around people, I am around people and I'm not having negative interactions. I'm being kind. I'm being thoughtful of the things I say and the things I do. I'm not just saying anything that comes, even I might be thinking it now. I didn't say I don't think stuff, but but it's not a negative interaction. So yes. Yeah, I like what Jen said. You could be all smiles. You don't have to get personal. You don't have to tell anybody your business. I'm the person, I'm gonna tell you who I am. I'm the one that if you see me in a long conversation with someone, it's because they're talking and I'm listening and I'm nodding. Every now and then I might give a little bit and then they start talking again. But then I'm listening again. But hey Lori Lewis. But it's not a negative interaction. And honestly, I like to listen. If you listen to people more than you talk, you find out so much. Because people tell you stuff they don't even really mean to tell you if you just let them talk. That's what I do. I just let people talk. Tell me stuff. Uh, I was listening to somebody talk not too long ago, and they were like, um, yeah, I'm gonna get a survey of my property, and that's gonna lead to a lower insurance policy. I was like, really? Just that's all you did? And they okay. Guess what I did when I went in the house? Like, you know what? We gonna try that as well. So yeah, you definitely, yes, Ambassador T. You learn more when you listen. Yeah, your neighbors may surprise you. That's what I think, Mari. Your neighbors might surprise you. Okay, definitely a talker. That's all right, Miss Native Cherokee. But only if she trusts you. See? But guess what? That required a certain amount of listening in order to get to that place where you trust them enough to share. Now, I have people that I share everything with. They know everything. Guess what? That's because I trust them and they earned it. But I'm not talking about like neighbors and people just I just, meet and interact with. I mostly let them talk. I mostly just keep it as positive as I can and let that be. That way, these are people that have your back versus trying to get you back. I want them to have my back, not try to get me back because that's so watch how you treating people because it might seem like nothing, might seem like they will have no impact on your life whatsoever. You don't know how people are connected. And where I'm from, everybody is connected. Everybody is connected. I have relatives that I be having to check, like, wait a minute, make sure you ask who their dad is and their mama because y'all might be cousins trying to hook up. Or you talking about somebody and don't even realize that that person is a relative. Hey, whole new perspective. You're an extrovert. But you know when you keep your mouth closed. Well, and here's the thing, and we use those terms, introvert, extrovert. it's not necessarily how much you talk that makes you an introvert or extrovert. It's which of those things energizes you. Does talking to someone, talking your thoughts, does that energize you, get you ready to go? Or being quiet, does that energize? That's me. Being quiet, because I'm always in thought. I always have thoughts in my head, and I'm always, I don't know how to make it be quiet. I'm always thinking of something. I'm always thinking of next things I need for tomorrow, things I need for next week. What am I doing? I was looking at what I'm doing next year, like last month or the month before. Um, because to me, planning is what allows you to make things happen as closely to how you want them to happen as possible. It's not a guarantee that what I'm planning or what I want to happen is going to happen, but at least if I get some things set up, it's a better chance. I wanted to grow some cauliflower. I got some out in the yard. I had some in my grow tent. They were almost ready to go out. I was counting like, oh yes, I got 24 plants. I'm gonna get me 24 heads of cauliflower. It's gonna be good in a couple of months. In a couple of months, right? All it took for that was one day I forgot to water them, and it got too hot in the grow tent because it was an unusually warm day. And I came in and they were all shriveled, except for maybe two plants. All the plants were totally shriveled. My heart was broke. But guess what? I pulled those dead plants out and I planted some more seeds. That's all you can do anyway. Just do it again. So, yes. So, yes. Pickled cauliflower is delicious. It sounds delicious. Hey, Yoki Homestead Lifestyle. Yeah, I'm very analytical. I think that's why I'm so drawn to, I guess, teaching English and the English language. Because I'm always analyzing stuff. At least I can give my brain somewhere to analyze without it bothering people. Besides my students. Hey, Dale. Hey. Hey, Sunshine is here from Washington State. New gardener trying to learn as much as possible. What are some good gardening and survival books? I don't have the books in front of me and I don't know the titles by heart. But if you email me, that'll give me time to look it up. ladyled73@gmail.com. How long does it take for broccoli? Most of them it says like 2 months, but I probably only gotten broccoli in 2 months a few times when everything was perfect. Probably 3 months, really. Thank you, A Whole New Perspective. Thank you for putting that in there. Yeah, and the thing about broccoli is it's one of those uh it's a brassica, so they like a lot of nitrogen. And the thing about most organic fertilizers is they have low nitrogen. So you kind of got to be like giving them food every time you water them. You can't just like leave that for like once a week or every other week or whatever. You got to keep them fed. But the more you keep them fed, the better they'll grow. And before you know it, you'll go out there one day, like after you done forgot. And you'll find some florets starting. That's the most exciting thing, though. Oh my goodness, the most exciting to go out and find some florets. Start it up. Oh, this is so much more easier to see. Could I make a list of books? I could. Yeah, I'll put it on my Amazon page. I will do that. Hey, Stephanie Ray. The school year is going. It's kind of weird. It's like one minute it felt like, because the first like few weeks of school was always like the worst, because it's like everything, all this paperwork, all of this, all of that, all of this is, and so you kind of are like in a run, and then all of a sudden it was like I finally got my rhythm, and then the holiday came, the fall break came, and I was just like, it's fall break. It's fall break. And I had already had my stuff ready for this week, and it was just such a good feeling. But it's going. It's going. That's all I can say is I'm running and I'm trying to keep up, trying to stay on top of stuff. So yeah. So Beth has some canning, baking, gardening, herbal medicine, and other few books. Good, good, good. Hey, hello, family garden. I'm sorry, homestead. Hey. Hey, JT Jr. grows it in Alaska. Hey, y'all. So yeah, and then what else? Preparedness is a state of mind. Um, your finances are a part of that. How you use your money. Because if you're always waiting for a crisis, or if you're like you're always in a crisis, something's not going right with finances. I'm talking about financial crises. If you're always in a state of I don't have enough, um and not having enough because you don't have a job, that's one thing. But okay, what am I putting in place so that I can get a job or get my own business? Because for some people, getting a job is not what they need to do. Some people need to put their skills and talents to use for real, and that would probably even bring them more than a job would ever bring them. That stuff helps you get prepared, because you never know when you may need to buy something that you weren't planning on buying, but here's this emergency. Uh Maybe you have to replace something that got damaged during an emergency. Um a tree fell a few years ago, totally crushed our chicken coop, miraculously. And I'm saying miraculously for real. None of the chickens died, and it was just a few feet from our beehives. Now, that would have even been more catastrophic if it had crushed the beehives. Because not only that, it's bees and the equipment, right? But we had to make plans on, okay, where these chickens going? We had to scramble, and we ended up making a new one. Wood is not cheap. So you have to financially be in a place where if an emergency happens, you can deal with it. Now, years ago, I read, I think it's called Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Totally shifted how I used money. So he talks about paying off debt, but before you even start paying off debt, get this emergency fund set up. And if you're struggling to get this emergency fund set up, he gives you strategies on stuff to do. Sell some stuff, do some odd jobs or whatever, get your business, make it do some stuff. So it was very helpful for how to get your money right, because you just never know what you may need. Yeah, and he's not the only person. Dave Ramsey is not the only person. Um, but that's the one that I read that helped me. Like I always tell people like what helped me get healthy. It's not the only book about health, it's just the one that worked for me, that helped me think the way I needed to think, change my mindset so that I could get, you know, get my thoughts in order so I could really, really be for real ready. Because crises are not just about food not being on the shelf. Um, it's about other things that can happen. Like I told you, we had a crisis with the tree falling. Stuff like that. Um, what else? Oh, thank you, D. I think it's DD51G2G. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad this is helpful. Um, yeah, like you want to try to save at least $1,000. And you know what? When I was reading that, that was probably 10 years ago. You might need even more than that. Like you might want to try to double that. Like as fast as you can round it up, round that amount up and don't touch it for nothing, nobody, nowhere, nothing. You keep it, right? Then after you do that, you look at your debts. What's the lowest debt that you have? What has the smallest balance? And then you try to chip away at that as fast as you can. And he talks about how to do that in his book. So I'm not going to go all the way into that. Okay, so see, uh, CJ at Loyola is saying 15 is the minimum for emergencies now. I think it's 2 because of the recent stuff that's going on. But, you know, of course, you're going to save as much as you can save, as much as you can save. Do that. How about? And I always tell people focus on what you can do. I don't want to hear about what you can't. Because if you can't do it, you can't do it. Focus on what you can do. For real. Like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But focus on, there's some stuff you can do. Why don't ignore the stuff you can do because you're so discouraged by what you can't. Because I'll be honest, when I looked at that about 10 years ago, $1,000, I honestly had zero idea how I was gonna save it. And he talks about saving it quickly, like within 30 days. I was like, every week I'm coming up short. How am I about to save $1,000? But then I just started looking at my expenses and I just cut everything that wasn't absolutely necessary. Okay, so that gave us a little bit. I can cut the expenses. I could do that. I can change up a few things. I can do that. I can maybe not go shopping and buy some shoes when I already got shoes. I could probably do that. I don't need a new shirt, even though it's cute and it's on sale. So I just started looking at what I could cut first and then started thinking of ways I could use my talents and skills to bring in some further income. So that's about the same time that years ago I started like websites. Like and I started helping people build websites and I just started doing a lot of research on how to set them up, how to get traffic to them. Um, I started learning about SEO. This was back in the early, this is before social media, like really, like I think Twitter was out and Facebook was kind of just getting going good. So those weren't really the places to go for traffic. You really kind of needed Google to get you traffic. So I just started learning how to do things that would cost very little money to get started. What is something you can do that has a very low investment startup cost? So your skills is always, to me, that place to start. Whatever you know how to do, that's something you can start offering to people. And you don't have to go off and get business cards and do all this and do all that. No, when you're talking to people, you let them know what you do. You listen to them and their needs. If they're saying stuff, well, I need this and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I know how to do that. I got a lot of people like editing their books because they were telling me, yeah, I'm writing a book, but I'm not really wet. I'm not great at it, and I'm missing this, and I need that. And I was like, oh, English is my background. Send that to me. So yes. Thank you, Ms. Native Cherokee. You can still do many things and make the extra money you need. Can do is art. That's Thank you for that example. That's the perfect example. Because it's not going to do you no good to focus on what you can't do. But if you just take some quiet time and look at what you can do, honestly, sometimes I look around my house and I realize if I just use what I got in this house for some of the things that I need, I wouldn't have to go buy stuff. There are times we need stuff for the chicken coop, stuff breaks in there and we need to fix it. We don't run to Home Depot. We go looking around. We can go in the garage, start moving some stuff, and oh my goodness, there's so much crap in here. But we find pieces of stuff and we just use our ingenuity. Is that a word? Ingenuity. Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. We use our brain and we start putting stuff together. So yes. Oh, that's my friend. Hey, Granny Karma. Yes, write that cookbook, Granny Karma. I'm not playing with you. Write that book. Let me listen. I just finished with my journal. I just finally got the actual copies today. I didn't do a whole bunch of writing. The first couple of pages, and this is what you do for a cookbook. You tell your story in the first couple of pages. I need some power. You tell your story in the first couple of pages about what inspired you for those recipes. You take pictures of the food and you write the ingredients. I'm sure you got a collection. Yes. And then you can either pitch it to a publisher or you could do it yourself. I did this myself through Amazon. So yes, do it. Do it. Use the stuff you got at your house. Use the stuff you got in your brain. And you will always have what you need. Always. You will always have more than enough. Always. And then the last thing, I'm glad I picked up my journal, because the last thing you need to be prepared is healthy. You need to be healthy. You got to be in good health, because it's too much stuff to do and you don't feel well. Like that was my problem. I was tired. When you're exhausted, you cannot get anything done. When you have brain fog, you cannot prepare. You're barely making it through the day. So, and health includes mental health, physical health, spiritual health. All of those things need to be healthy, because that's what helps you get what you need, even when you can't find it somewhere else that you normally find it. You will always have what you need if you have health to get it, to work for it, to do things, to fix things in the yard, to plant a garden. All of that. You need all of that. You need a mindset of preparedness in all the different areas of your life. So preparedness in your mind, knowing I don't need to fear, not letting fear take you over and making you panic, make you do, make bad decisions, not getting you in a place where you feel like you won't have what you need. You will have what you need. You will have what you need if you develop a mindset of preparedness, meaning I'm gonna have to use this time management. I can't just waste time. Time is too precious. That's the one resource you can never get more of. What are you doing with your time? And that's, your time is also why you can't just work for any wage. Your time is why you can't just let people tell you your business prices are too high. Because guess what? This is my time that God gave me, and I'm supposed to be using it to do things I was put here to do. Um, $10 an hour is not going to help me do it. So, yeah, all of that. Um, Somebody said taking a walk around your neighborhood. And that's good for exercise, but that just reminded me of something else. Because I mostly work from home, so I hadn't been out. I had only been like from home to maybe the store. So as we went further out, I kept seeing all these new constructions that weren't like there before. Like they're almost done. That means I didn't see it get started and now they're almost done. So what that brought to my mind was this. Um, Sometimes you just need to go out for a drive to check out your surroundings to make sure things haven't changed so much that you don't know what's what. Like, let's say you got some evacuation route, storm route, or whatever that used to be this way, but now, so every now and then you need to like update yourself on these things. I just was like, what I was thinking, it was silly. It was like a gas station that wasn't there before. They're almost about to open it. And then another one was they tore down a bunch of trees and they've just flattened it. Nothing's there yet. But it just got me thinking, like, we're so used to things being one way that we don't think about, well, what could be the impact if they change? So every now and then, just, yeah, go past your neighborhood and do some other stuff and check things out. Cause yeah, and just yeah, just stay alert to what's going on around. So yes, God gave us talents for times such as now. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Anna, one thing at a time. That's my motto. Um, Now I might have a lot of things on my to-do list. I might have a lot of things on my schedule. But I don't multitask. You cannot. Multitasking is fake. All you can do, you can only pay attention to one thing at a time. All you're doing when you're multitasking is you're stopping this task to do another task, and you're stopping that task to do another task, but you can never do them all at once. Try talking to somebody and listening at the same time. It doesn't work. Your mind isn't made for that. So I don't multitask. I work on one thing at a time. Now I might set a time. Okay, I'm gonna work on this for 30 minutes. All right, after 30 minutes, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna work on this. That's not multitasking though. I'm still only doing. And then the other thing is I can't afford to get overwhelmed. I can't afford to let my mind get stressed and frazzled. I can only focus on doing one thing, making one change. Now, so if you were listening to this like, okay, I got to get my finances in order, I got to get this in order, and I got to get that. Focus on one. Start with one. Start with one. And I say start with one that, what's the one you can start on now? Some stuff you can't start on now. Do that. food buffet, that's still not multitasking. You still first stop, put the load in the wash. You can't do like this. I mean, you can try, but I promise you, you slowing yourself down. First, you're putting the stuff in the wash, getting the stuff out the dryer, and then you go over and what else did you say? Putting food in your quick cooker. Unless you just doing like this. But so I guess the term multitasking, we kind of have we've kind of just encompassed it to say we're doing more than one, but really we can only do one thing at a time. And those are logical things because you're not, after you put your clothes in the wash and you put them in the dryer, you close them, you can't just stand there and wait on them to wash because that's a waste of time. You should be doing some other task. So you doing right. You doing right. Doing right. Sharice, I'll say this. Writing stuff down helps me because at night when I'm trying to go to sleep, all the things that I need to do will try to overwhelm me. But over the years I had to stop. I had to stop that. It was driving me crazy. So what I used to have paper and pen. Now, since we got these devices, I just pull up my notes, put my little list of stuff I need to do. I can't do nothing. Some of the stuff you can't do nothing about at night. Calling, making a doctor's appointment the next day. I gotta wait till the doctor's office is open. Guess what? I set alarms on my phone. I know they'll be cracking on me and my alarms. I don't care. They help me stay on task. They help me do what I need to do. And guess what? Yeah, they're annoying because they're supposed to be. They're supposed to say, hey, you're supposed to call the doctor, make that appointment. Hey, you're supposed to go pull that stuff out the garden before the creatures get it. Hey, you're supposed to go to the library, return the book, whatever it is. I don't know. But yeah. Hey, Sapphire, Diamonds, and Pearls from Nevada. I missed that. I'm so behind in my comments. Oh, this thing is not charging. Oh, that is not good. So that means we may blip out at any moment. Well, we've been on here enough moments. Been on here enough moments. I have blabbed you all's ears off. But anyways, I just wanted you to think about that. Just think about the fact that, it's a state of mind. It's a mindset. Yeah, it's okay to be the list queen. I'm the list queen. In fact, I love finding the little list with the squares. And when I can't find the ones with the squares, I draw them myself. I draw them myself. So, hey, Dale got a 747. I'm so glad you enjoyed this because we're gonna get on out of here. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Julie B. I'm glad. This has been on my mind for like several days. Yeah, it's been on my mind. I just wanted to come in here. I haven't been able to, record things. I've been so busy, but I still like checking in with y'all, seeing how y'all are doing. Praying y'all are well and that you enjoy the rest of this night. Thank you, Sylvia. Y'all are fun. Y'all make this fun. You do. So, I just want people to live their best lives, and everybody in here has the capacity to do that. You have the capacity to make things in your life better. Nothing has to stay nothing has to stay always bad and challenging and crisis mode. I've been through those things. But with some planning and some thought and some strategizing, nothing's ever going to be perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need to do the best I can do. That's all. And when you do the best you can do, You can actually take a breath and then let grace do the rest, because that's what it's for. So, oh, thank you, Heavenly Places. I'm so glad you joined us for the first time. Right. Just be your best. You don't have to be perfect. You're perfectly you. Just be the best you. That's it. Oh, we'll be praying for your husband. Speedy recovery for him. Speedy recovery. All right, now. Y'all have a great night. Oh, I'm glad it was encouraging, Kelly. Have a good one. See you next time. Good night.